What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to another Kaiba Hacks Darts deck list video. Today we're going to be looking at the Jowls of Dark Demise deck for December 2023. Now, if you don't know Jowls, he is officially the 4th god card. No joke, straight goods. He is a flip monster, and when he's flipped up, you can take control of one of your opponent's monsters until the end of the turn, but that monster can attack directly. So he can be a boss little monster, and that's what this whole deck is about. We're going to set him down. It is a work in progress, and there will be updates in the future. This is just what I got for cards right now. Next, we got 3 Tindangle Angel. Tindangle Angel is good for getting that Jowls to hand when he's flipped up. You know, you can add a flip monster from hand or graveyard. So you can also recycle the Jowls possibly. And also, you know, if it's flipped up, and it's your opponent's battle phase and the battle phase. So he's a good little stall card and good for helping searching Jowls. Next, we got the Tindangle Jarelith. It's kind of a weird little triangle card, but also a flip monster, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, like with the similar stuff, you know, when he gets flipped up, you can take one monster from your deck and add it to your hand or send it to graveyard. So you can tech this out with to maybe get that Jowls and get him into some plays. Then he's also got the bonus kind of Tindangle effects where you can discard one other card and send one Tindangle card from your deck to the graveyard. But that doesn't really, it fits in with some kind of other plays that I'm not really running in the deck. Next, we got 2 Morphing Jar number 2. Now these are great just for getting some of the flip effect monsters down. You could play the gamble a bit and maybe get a Jowls on the field out of something that you've already used up. And it can just help get rid of some of their beefier monsters and force them into some smaller stuff. So the Morphing Jar number 2. Some of these extra things can be traded out, like of course the Morphing Jar number 2. And all of the crawler monsters can be worked around. One thing I am missing is Crawler Soma. But we are ripping one of each of these crawler monsters just because of their effect. At the bottom, you know, you can, if it's just each crawler monster, if they're destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can special summon 2 crawler monsters from your deck and face down defense position. And they have to be a different monster than the one that it happened to. So it's good to have a couple different ones to tech into because they do have actual effects. Like this one can add a crawler from deck to hand. The Days X crawler is a bit different. You basically get him out when one of these goes out. He's kind of not really something you want to get in hand as often, but you can tech into some weird stuff when you do have him. The Spine just gets rid of a monster. There's one to get rid of spell and traps too. It does the same thing, but for spell and traps. The Raveneer is good for just kind of recycling them up, getting them back in your hand. And same with the Galil, can get some special summon a crawler from hand or graveyard, so you can get some recycling going. For the last couple, one good card to throw in that I don't have extra copies of, I do have a couple copies of it, but just in other decks, is Marshmallow. But replace that, I do have a Roma Jar. It just gives you life points instead of doing damage. Like a Marshmallow would, but still can't be destroyed by battle, so it's a good little stall piece. Kaiju, and then Raffle Sea of Seduction. He's basically Jowls, except the monster can't attack directly that you take. And like I said, Crawler Soma is something that I need in. I'll probably throw 2 of those in once I have those for future reference. Next, we'll move on to the spells. Now, this is probably the best flip support they've come out with in a while. Terrors of the Hidden City. You know, your opponents can't use any effects on your defense position face down monsters. You know, monsters that you control that were flipped face up get 1500 attack and defense. So it can be pretty beefy for defending you, for getting those attacks in. You can do some weird plays with it. And then also when it's destroyed, you can get a monster in face down defense position. So you can get some of those flippy weird tech plays, or maybe even a Jowls itself. Next, we got Book of Moon. Now, this is where some weird plays can come in. Obviously, classic Book of Moon, you can just put a monster into face-down defense position. It's good for the flip effect monsters, and maybe stalling out. But what you can do is use this on one of their monsters, get your Jowls onto your turn. When it's your turn, flip them up, and then you take their face down defense position monster. Say it's a big beefy little bastard. Then you can beef him up some more when you flip him into attack. Use it, go in with, because he's face down, and then he's going to get more attack when he comes up. So you can go in with that direct attack. Main phase 2, link in with Jowls and their monster so they don't get it back. So that can be a crazy play you can pull off. The cards have to align on that one, but they all do just have their separate parts, so it works well. Next, for a little bit of stall power, we got 2 swords. You know, just gives you 3 turns to work. We got Naggle's Protection. Now, this goes with the Tindangle monsters. Basically makes it so they can't be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effects. And once per turn, one of them can attack and double their attack damage if they inflict battle damage. Or, yeah, double whatever damage they inflicted, sorry. And then you can also use it to just tech into another one if you get it in the graveyard. Next, kind of fits the deck, you know, just Change a Heart. Just fits the idea of taking their monsters. Monster Reborn and MST. A lot of these cards can just be swapped out. They're just what I had at the time, or just could throw in for this version of the deck. In Master Duel, it's a lot more beefed up. For traps, 3 Threatening Roar. You know, this just stops your opponent from declaring an attack. You can get those extra turns in to get those little plays, or maybe just flip that one Jowls you need to get off. Next, we got 2 World Legacy Pawns. Now, what this card does is basically you can flip a face down monster you control and change it up to attack or defense position. And then, if you have a crawler monster in the graveyard, see, I'll get it there. You can change it to change a monster to face down defense position. And then you can do this, you know, once per turn. One of the effects once per turn. So you can do this on your opponent's turn if you want to get your flip monsters going on their turn for some reason. Or if you want to pop it off, say you get your Jowls, you can just set it and then forget it. You know, you just flip them up, bam, you're doing your plays with the Jowls. So it's a good card. Could take it up to 3 if you want. For the remaining traps, we just got a heavy Storm Duster. You know, some removal, Magic Cylinder, you know, classic, maybe stop a beefy attack, do some damage back. Set Uppercut, I threw in just because it's a weird card. You know, when a monster is destroyed by battle, special summon a monster from hand or deck with attack less than to that monster in face down defense position. So what I can do is basically every monster in the deck, except for Geralith, I believe, has more attack than Jowls. So I can always tech into Jowls with this. So I'm just trying it out. We'll see how she runs. I could have more in the future in the deck. This could be the last time you see it. Now for extra deck monsters, I'm still teching out different things and using what I have in IRL/Master Duel. But I'll show them off even though I can't use them yet. The Tindangle Acute Cerberus. I'll see if I can get the effect on there so it's a little easier to read, because I'm not going to read that out. But you do need the base Gardna for this thing to have basically any use out there. And the base Gardna takes up a little bit in the deck. I'm still teching into it, and I don't have it real life either. So I can't use this yet. But, well, I mean, I can, but they have to be 3 or more monsters with different names. So it's some weird stuff. Maybe just keep one in the extra deck for possible uses. Battle Board Blocker, Bouquet Board Blocker, whatever he is. 2 monsters with different names, so, you know, that's always going to happen with Jowls and something else. And then, you know, you can discard a card, so if you have to get rid of something, you can maybe add a continuous back, like another Terrors of the Hidden City, because you can stack them up to get stupid damage, 45 plus whatever you have. So you can really go into some weird techie stuff. And, of course, it can just defend them a bit if you already have them out. Mostly for the extra deck monsters, you just want Link 2 stuff, maybe Link 3 things, and then you can just decide from there what you think works well. Like this card, you know, it's not really doing much, but I can just still tech in from Jowls at least to steal their monster, which is just a different play. I have a couple more, you know, like that are just super generic that don't really have any effects for me, but at least I can clear out their monster and get rid of my Jowls that's in attack position, especially if he's not beefed up from Terrors. So those are some extra plays. There is one Master Duel monster I had. I forget what his name is. It's like a Generator or something, Georaider. But he's a Link monster, Link 2, and you can, whatever he's pointing at can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And it's like you're the bottom left arrow, so that it's kind of helpful that if you want that pointed at something. But then if something's in the bottom left arrow and the top right, you can switch them, so you can swap something with your opponent's monster. It's a cool little tech piece. I might have that in the next one. I guess that's just a future little heads up. But like I said, that's the Jowls of Dark Demise, the 4th God card. You know what I mean? This is just the beginning. This is just the works. I haven't seen rarely any people work with Jowls, and I'm trying to make the deck focused completely around him. So if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little notification bell. I think I went through pretty much all the little techie plays you can do, and I'll do some further explanations and more deck list videos. This is just the bare bones, at least in real life. And like I said, you get into the Jowls, and it's almost, I think it's getting ready to be that pure tournament ready stuff out here. So stay tuned for the future of that. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.